Hi guys, welcome to Lioness Forever, where we celebrate womanhood and godly living. I know it's been a hot minute, but I'm back with some awesome content and awesome guests. First, before I introduce my guest, I'd like to read a scripture for today that will guide us on the conversation that we're going to be having. For those of you who are watching this video for the first time and you like it, feel free to click like, subscribe, and to share it as well. So we'll be reading from Luke chapter 8 verse 8, and it says, "Still other seed fell on fertile soil. This seed grew and produced a crop that was 100 times as much as had been planted." When he had said this, he called out, "Anyone with ears to hear should listen and understand." So these are the words of Jesus Christ, and he was talking about planting a seed. It's a time, a difficult time. The coronavirus pandemic is going on, but we still have hope that we can begin new things, we can plant new things. So today I have a special guest who is coming to talk about businesses, very specifically startups. So she's a startup consultant. She is a mental health and emotional hygiene activist. She's a model and actress, and she has such a wide range of experience, both local and international, and I can't wait for you guys to hear from her. So let's please welcome Zipporah Gitahi. Welcome, and she's my friend.
Thank you. We didn't plan this. Just
yeah, I know. Like even the red, like this is a sign of friendship. Like guys,
in the spirit.
in the spirit.
Somebody.
Hallelujah. Okay.
Yeah.
I will start with a few questions.
Yeah.
What's your favorite soda?
Bambucha.
Please pay us after this video.
I love Fanta Bambucha.
Okay.
Fanta Orange, sorry.
Yeah, Fanta Orange.
Mhm.
Okay, what's your favorite Bible character?
Zipporah in the Bible.
Yeah.
I feel like she's quite an interesting lady, although we're not told much. But also over the years, David has become more relatable compared to most Bible characters. He makes mistakes and he finds ways to ask for repentance. So it feels like he was a human being like us, you know?
Oh, okay. I really like that. Best quote from a TV show?
Right now, nothing comes to mind.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
But you're quite super with memes. Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's just get right into it, Z. So you are a startup consultant, and definitely this is right in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic.
Yeah.
You know, the economy is like bending, it's on its knees, and we are still in a place where we have to revive ourselves, we have to gain a living. So I'd like to ask you, because a startup is generally a business venture that someone, you know, begins. In your own words, just to accurately describe it, what does a startup situation look like for somebody?
Basically, a startup is a newly established business.
Okay.
Or a company that is starting up. But most of the time, that looks like a lot of financial struggles, a lot of capital generation from self. Looks like looking for labor, looks like a lot of marketing, looks like a lot of product testing.
Yeah.
Looks like a lot of it's a lot of newness.
Okay.
In terms of figuring out what your audience wants. Do they like what you have? Will they appreciate what you have? Will they buy? They may like it but not buy it.
Okay.
You know?
So when it comes to starting a new venture, you know, sometimes you can be like, oh my goodness, I want to start this thing. Then, as you've said, you realize people don't really want it. So how do people who want to start new ventures identify their problems accurately?
They need to do a lot of market research. You know, when you come up with the concept or the idea of creating a product or a serviced product, you need to ask yourself what problem you're solving.
Yeah.
Is it something that actually people need? Because if it's just you, maybe it's just you. Maybe you just want orange and white jumpsuits. No one else
But if
wants
I
it.
want it, I mean, it should be valid, Z. I don't know.
No. You know, there's ways, especially when you're doing business, you're looking to generate profit.
Yeah.
Through revenue generation, right? Which means people have to be buying in such a number or capacity that it gives you enough room to have margins that generate profit for you. So if you're only creating one product that apparently only you and your friend and your sister like, then the three of you will buy from each other. So you have to do that research. Okay, I think this works, but do people want that?
Okay.
That's why you find companies doing surveys like with Ipsos Innovate or different kinds of groups just to see what does the market want.
Okay.
Sometimes it can be as simple as bottle openers, you know?
Okay.
Just look at what gap is in the market. So with Corona, I feel like it has created an environment where a lot of gaps have been exposed. So if you're keen on opportunities and perhaps you can wiggle your way around generating capital or funds to move the business forward, then you can go.
In the Kenyan context, because we are here, what are the basics that someone needs to start a business with?
Basically, first things first is the idea. What is your product? From there, have you given your product a name? You need an audience, you need a market, because otherwise you have a product that won't be purchased by anyone. Outside that, starting a business officially, once you have a name, you need to reserve a name, register the company, do the carrier pins. Then depending on the industry, you need licenses. From there, then you can work as a one-man army. A lot of people go through that phase in the beginning.
Yeah.
Also to market your service or your product or your service product, you need a social presence. Most people either do, depending on the budget and the target market, they either do radio, TV, they do social media because of our generation, the population.
Oh yeah.
They do a lot of magazines or grassroots activations where they do pop-ups, those road shows, they talk to people, give out flyers. So it really depends. So there's marketing, there's registration or the legal aspect of the business that needs to be considered, and the brand identity or the identity of the business, because that's how it functions as an entity.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does someone go about either doing a business plan, especially if they don't have that acumen?
A lot of people didn't start their businesses with business plans. It's the Nairobi folk, the town folk, that we do business plans because of the need for funding. And maybe perhaps banks actually sometimes ask for business plans.
Oh, yeah.
They need to understand your business model, what you're trying to achieve and why you need what you're asking for. And sometimes even just for partners, if you're bringing a partner on board or you're getting an angel investor or just an investor company, you need to give them that. Most people just start. You just have an idea, have money, have equipment, let's just start this thing.
Yeah.
It's good to have it at some point if you don't start with it, because it helps you maintain your strategy and your direction, because you find some people started a hardware shop, then some it became a restaurant, then somehow while Michael's became now a spare part. Like it just becomes so many things. So they lost direction.
Yeah.
A business plan helps you maintain your vision and mission, and it also helps communicate to your customers, to your potential investors, to your teams, your workers, what you're trying to achieve, so it maintains a uniformed performance to achieve a goal.
Okay. What are the perks that come with starting your own business? I think sometimes there are two sides to entrepreneurship. There's the side where you're sort of doing so many things at once. You're the messenger, you're the CEO, you are the customer care assistant, you're everything. But there are definitely some benefits. So maybe you can share with us what you definitely see from your side.
I think the kind of network you end up building is quite different from what you would get if you are sitting at the desk as a teller or just as a specific position.
Yeah.
It opens you up to understanding as well how your business functions. See, it's different when you're onboarded to a specific position from another position. You understand the business idea, but you don't understand the business culture, the people, how things work, how they feel, the hardships they go through. So like if you're at top management, you don't understand what the messenger goes through, like why they would be late, traffic happens, the package took some time, or the person signing decided to go have lunch and they had to wait. But when you go through the process of being the messenger, the accountant, the carrier person, the person who makes phone calls, sets up meetings, books, all those things. Yeah,
shops as well.
Yeah. You get to a point where you start to have an understanding and empathy for your staff when you hire them. So by the time they're telling you, I'm sorry boss, this and this happened, you understand, because you were there, you know what they're going through, and whatever solution you came up with to make your work easier at that point, you can give them, and then at the end of the day, it feels like a family setup.
What happens when you have the idea, you have the labor, probably you've managed to get a few savings, but now you're exposed to somebody who can take you to the next level. It might be a pioneer of your industry, it might be someone, and you need to do like a quick 1 minute, boom, here's my idea, I need to get this out. How do you go about it?
Experienced people in any and all industries get to a point where they're used to a certain system of things. Things flow, things make sense. 1 + 1 is 2. It's not maybe -3 divided by 4. It's simple. So when you come along and your presentation is not coordinated, first things first, you look like you've been to a forest. You didn't shave or you didn't do your hair. Unless it's just suddenly we met, like I just saw you and took the opportunity. But if it's a planned pitch, you need to first look presentable.
Allow me to save the grace of this, to provide some grace for this person. Let's say it's a phone call.
You need to have your ducks in a row, regardless. Know what you're talking about. So if your product is Fanta Bambucha, you need to explain why you started Fanta Bambucha, what inspired you. They like inspiration stories. Who is your target market? Another thing they really like to know is, do you understand who you're selling to?
Oh yeah.
Their behaviors, where they live, what is their basic profile, how much do they earn, what do they do when they are free? Do they go to Kamaki's or do they go to Milan? Do they prefer to eat drink konyagi, or do they prefer to just drink water and tea? Or like, what do they do? Who are they? Because that just informs you a lot of their behaviors.
Yeah.
If you look at Safaricom's trend and some of the innovations they've come up with, it's observation of their target market. They always want to you want to send money, but oops, you're short of cash. That one covers everyone, including the CEOs, because they don't carry money around anyway. So when you're doing your pitch, you need to have your ducks in a row. Understand your target, understand your own product. You need to understand the obstacles that are going to come through and along the business. That's why having, like you had asked some time back when we were talking, having a negative person is not always a bad thing. Because they show you roadblocks you hadn't anticipated. So the negative person prompts scenarios for you to imagine how you'll wade through. So that you're not caught off guard entirely.
True.
So you think of, okay, so what if your product is orange? What if I hate orange? What if I don't like the flavor? What if people in Kenya like your tea, but in Nairobi we hate it? Who's your target market specifically?
Now, when you're working in a startup, what does the dynamic of climbing the corporate ladder look like?
I feel like it's a bit easier because you can be even an entrepreneur. You can come up with ideas to help further the agenda and you'd be listened to compared to an established business.
I totally get your perspective on that. I'd just like us to close with something. You've been a woman in business for quite a while. Has it been 5 years?
Yeah, 8 years.
Yeah, roughly 5 years. What would you like to say to a woman who'd like to start her own business?
But to be clear, guys, I've been working for people and with people. I've been more of an entrepreneur, so I've worked with a lot of startups. So you come up with solutions within, and others you just don't, you just work. Get paid, go home. I would say keeping your own identity as a person is very important. That's what makes you stand out. Don't conform. Okay, uniform-wise, yes, wear what they're telling you to wear. But in terms of performance and your work ethic, it really takes you further than being like everyone else or just blindly following the masses. That also helps you scale up and go up the ladder. I would say whether you plan to be an entrepreneur, you have to look at your why. It's very important. Most people just start businesses because they don't want to be bossed around. They have authority issues, especially our generation. It's nothing about, I have this great idea and it's a passion and I feel like I really want to pursue this. Most people just, I don't want to be bossed around. That's all they don't want. And entrepreneurship is more than that, because once you get into the ring, you realize it's a lot of work. It's a lot of commitment, a lot of sleepless nights. You have to find money somewhere. You have to make things work. You have to boss other people around, and they will disappoint you because they're human beings. It's a whole other dynamic of gears. So if you're going to start a business, please be sure you have your why, and your why is a logical and genuine why. That's one. If you're okay, because there are a number of people who are generally okay with working in a business, someone else's business, or working for someone, but they have this peer pressure of, no, even me, I don't like, no, if you're comfortable, I have no qualms with working for someone. That's security in terms of a salary. At the end of the month, I have my salary. I'm very happy. But then again, for you to go up the ladder, you have to show usefulness. You can't just be there, you report at exactly 8:31 and you leave at exactly 4:29.
Yeah.
You're out of the building. And at lunchtime, we can tell you're not really there anymore. Bosses notice.
Yeah.
Not that you should overcompensate and overperform, but you can do a little bit extra. That's how you get ahead of the game, or in the game at least. You have to do a bit extra, be willing, and have a genuine heart when you're doing it. Because ironically, the employers notice. Some people get promoted and you wonder, you just came the other day, but they're doing more than you. Sometimes it's not about how long you've been there, it's how much you've done while you've been there.
Yeah.
So you find someone who's been there for 3 months has done more work than you who's been there for 3 years. Just commitment. They show up early, they're willing to do a bit extra. Not that you now run your errands and go to your house and pick your kids. Just that, okay, I was meant to do this proposal, but you know what? In fact, I found another way to do this and I found another investor. You've shown usefulness.
Yeah.
That's how you get ahead of the game. That's how you get the corner office or whatever your goal is. Just be prepared to serve. Be prepared for a lot of low nights, a lot of debt sometimes, unfortunately, in the beginning, not forever. In the beginning, there'll be a lot of opposition from either friends and family or both.
Yeah.
You prepare for a lot of downs in the beginning.
Thank you so much, guys. I am so excited. I have learned so much from you, Zippy.
Thank you so much.
And we will continue to share. Please, in case you have any comment, question, kindly drop it in the box below, dialogue box below. And I will get back to you probably on an IG live or another session I will organize with Zipporah. Otherwise, may you have a very blessed time and see you soon. Ciao.
Any moment can be the right moment if you take it up.
Okay.
I saw an opportunity to talk to someone. I had no idea who she would become, but I just talked to her. I had no intention of looking for a job. I was just talking, and somehow that opened up an idea. Oh wow, I could hire this lady.